Oh, that masquerade ball! The black cat mask concealed Emily's face but couldn't hide the anxiety in her eyes. Her heart was pounding like a crazy as she ascended the marble steps of the luxurious mansion. Holy cow! Everything was so magnificent, every detail of the event meticulously planned. And the guests, the cream of the crop of the city, business tycoons, politicians, creative minds, who was hiding behind each mask. But Emily was only interested in one particular guest. Lord, I hope I did a good job with this mask and he wouldn't recognize me here, Emily whispered, tucking away the invitation of this exclusive evening event, handwritten on embossed paper. A year. For an entire year, she had been living on pins and needles, torn between two men. On one side was her husband, with whom she had built her life and career as a successful attorney. On the other was Nathan, his best friend and business partner, who had become her secret passion. And now all three of them were under the same roof, hidden behind masks, but no less dangerous to each other. There is a saying that the best place to hide something is in plain sight. And today, her secret affair with Nathan might be right under her husband's nose. It was so thrilling and nerve-wracking, adding fuel to her passion with Nathan. But oh, how dangerous and unpredictable it all was. Emily slipped into the crowd of guests trying to stay in the shadows. Her eyes darted around the hall, searching for familiar silhouettes. And suddenly, like a punch to the gut, she bumped into a tall man wearing a lion mask. It had to be him, her husband. Her heart skipped a bit, but he didn't seem to recognize her. However, what happened next made her even more nervous. Like Alexander the Great himself in Hercule lion-skin helmet, her husband wrapped his arm around her waist and pulled her close. "Oh, what a charming little kitty we have here," he purred, leaning slightly toward her ear. "Madame, would you care to join the King of Beasts for a glass of champagne? The evening promises to be very interesting, and I suggest we don't waste any time from its very beginning. I promise you won't regret it." Emily froze, unsure what to do. Her own husband was flirting with her, not suspecting who was behind the mask. It would have been amusing if it weren't so bitter. Surprisingly, Emily felt what seemed to be a long-forgotten attraction to the man who had become so tedious at home. Could this be the magic of the masquerade? However, she remembered well that there was another man in this mansion tonight. "I'm sorry, She began trying to disguise her voice, but was interrupted by a husky voice from behind. "Excuse me, dear guests, I apologize for interrupting, but it seems Madame dropped her coat check number in the cloakroom. You need to return there." "Nathan, damn it! Didn't he realize how much he risks exposing them?" Emily turned around, meeting the piercing eyes looking out from behind a raven mask. It was her lover. "Oh, I'm so sorry, I can be such a klutz sometimes. Imagine then dropping my ticket. No wonder it fell out of this tight dress. There is nowhere to hide anything in it. I'll be right back," she said, and excusing herself to her husband, hurried away. Weaving between guests, Emily felt panic rising in her throat. She tucked herself away in a hidden corner behind a column, trying to catch her breath. Seems like she dodged that bullet. She was already regretting agreeing to these role-playing games. And then, "Oh, there you are, darling," came a piercing voice nearby. "Allow me to reveal the secrets of your heart. I know your secret and why you hide your face behind a mask." Emily startled. Before her stood an eccentric woman in a flashy outfit with a crystal ball in her hands. "Madame Rowena, at your service." The fortune-teller introduced herself with a theatrical bow. "I see such a passion in your soul. Love, betrayal, fear, perhaps even infidelity. Look, Here the sun sets behind a cloud. This will all end only— "Stop it!" Emily hissed fearfully, glancing around. "I don't believe in this nonsense. What are you talking about? Who let you in here?" But the fortune-teller dissolved into the crowd, letting out a sarcastic laugh, leaving Emily in even greater confusion. She desperately needed a breath of fresh air and headed toward the balcony. And then familiar voices reached her ears. Her husband and some woman. There was a tense conversation between them. Seems like this lion was angry that his prey had managed to slip away. "Oh, I can't hide this anymore," he was saying. "We have to tell everyone." "But are you sure?" replied the female voice. "What about your wife?" Emily froze, not believing her ears. Could it be? Could it be that she wasn't the only one who came to this masquerade with baggage full of secrets? Before she could collect her thoughts, Nathan appeared beside her. His eyes behind the raven mask burned with fury. "I saw you talking to him," he said through gritted teeth. "Out of everyone in the hall, you ran straight to him. Are you crazy? Did you decide to tell him everything? What were you two chatting about?" "Keep it down. Someone might hear us." Emily looked around in panic. "It was just a coincidence. I walked into the hall and bumped right into him. I didn't even get a chance to open my mouth before he started pawing at me. God, I think there is something about my own husband I don't know." But it was too late. Attracted by their squabble, Emily's husband was heading their way. "Ah, there's my new friends," he said, looking from Nathan to Emily. "I thought I'd lost you in all this commotion. Dear Raven, I'm grateful for helping my lady, and now, if you'll excuse us—" The air between them seemed to heat up to the breaking point. One more moment, and the mask would be torn off. All secrets will come to light. And then the music started playing, loud and inviting. It made all the guests rush to the center of the hall. "The dance of masks," announced the host, dressed as Count Dracula with a red cape. "Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to whirl in a vortex of mysteries and riddles." Emily, her husband, and Nathan were drawn into the whirlwind of dancers. The spun changed partners as if in some mad kaleidoscope. Emily felt the ground slipping away beneath her feet. Her secret life, her lies, everything was about to come crashing down. She cursed herself for agreeing to this adventure. And suddenly the music stopped. In the total silence, Madame Ravenna's voice rang out. "Dear guests, I see among you those who wear masks, not only on their faces, but in life. The time has come to open your hearts. Who dares to be the first to drop all masks?" There must be some kind of contest coming up. Emily froze in silent anticipation. And then— "I will." Her husband's voice came from the crowd. He stepped into the center of the circle, swept his gaze across the surrounding guests, and with one sharp movement tore off his lion mask. "I want to confess something tonight, because I can't lie anymore. I've been cheating on my wife." A surprised whisper swept through the hall. What was this? Part of the show or for real? Stunned, Emily felt the pain of humiliation washing over her, her face burning red-hot beneath her mask. Unable to control her emotions, she stepped forward, ripping off her black cat mask. "Well, in that case, I have something to confess to everyone too," she said, looking straight into her husband's eyes. "Me too. I've been cheating on you too, you low-down snake." Strange feeling overtook them both. Emily, who from the very beginning of the evening has seen her husband in a new light and felt an intense feeling of attraction toward him at first, and then jealousy, and her husband, whose face seemed to have become a stone mask. And then Nathan stepped forward. He slowly removed his raven mask and swept his gaze across the hall. "And he began, his voice breaking. "I knew everything, and I arranged this masquerade so that all secrets would finally come to light. Because living in lies, that's no life at all. I love Emily, even though she's married to my business partner. I'm ready to sacrifice everything for her, just to have the chance to love each other openly. Emily felt a tear roll down her cheek. It was all over, but somehow instead of despair, she felt a strange calm. 6 months has passed. Emily sat in a cozy cafe, absently stirring her cold coffee. Her marriage had fallen apart, things with Nathan hadn't worked out. It turned out her need was only for the thrill she got from cheating on her husband. And when everything came to light, her relationship with Nathan lost its former mystery and passion. But she didn't regret it. On the contrary, she felt free. "May I join you?" came a familiar voice. Emily looked up and saw Madame Rowena, only now she was an ordinary woman, without the flash outfit and mysterious aura. "You?" Emily exclaimed in amusement. "But how?" "I found you to tell you how it really was. I was hired," the woman said simply, sitting down at the table. "Your former friend Nathan planned it all. He wanted all of you to finally drop your masks and become free. He thought that after the divorce, he could be with you." Emily laughed. "If he only knew how it would all end," she said after a pause. "You know what? I should thank you, because that evening it completely changed my life. Yes, it hurt, but now I feel real, alive. Now I can finally live without a mask, without pretense, just being myself."